A heck of a responsibility once he'd given us permission to then take his songs, his legacy, and create a movie and picturize them in a way that would live up to not only his legacy, but would satisfy his fans around the world. Because it could have all gone very pear-shaped, with Springsteen fans around the world boycotting the movie and saying this is rubbish and what have you done to our hero and all this sort of stuff. So that was a very serious consideration. I had to really think about that. But what was great was the sincerity and the honesty of Javed's story as based on Sarfraz's life. You know, that had a lot of integrity. And then I just had to make it work, you know, as a director in terms of balancing the politics and the emotion and the storytelling. So when I showed it to Bruce, I was quite confident that he was going to like parts of it or like it. And then at the end of the screening, it was in a small room in a theatre in New York. At the end of the screening, he was watching it with a few managers, John Landau and a few other people. And at the end, there was absolute silence, because the managers didn't want to say anything until Bruce spoke. And Bruce didn't say anything because he was thinking about it. And I was in the back thinking, okay, this has gone tits up, as we say. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the front, turn the lights on, get the tape, and go out so he can talk to his people. And as I went to the front, put the lights on, I saw him get up behind me, and he walked over, and he put his arms around me, and he gave me a big kiss, and he said, thank you for looking after me so beautifully. Aww. Don't change a thing, it's great. And then we sat down for an hour, and he went through every single thing that he really liked in the film. And it was wonderful. He said the kids are great. He really liked the actors. He said they pulled it off really well. He loved the use of all the other 80s music in the film. He had a bit of a laugh about Sarfraz, saying, yeah, he's the kid that kept turning up everywhere, and he said, oh yeah, he's here. He was over there, now he's here. So him and John Landau sort of were obviously, you know, quite chuffed about that. And then the biggest thing for him, because he's not a man that talks about himself very much in glowing terms, and he certainly doesn't go on about his music and his words in that kind of way. You know, he's a very ordinary man of the people, and he sees what he does as his job, you know. He doesn't see himself as a rock idol as such. But he did really appreciate the way that the film took songs that he'd recorded in the 70s and had made them feel very relevant to today. And part of the reason for that was because the decision that I made to make the film now as a director, when I made the decision to make it, was 2017, and we had just had the news about Brexit in England, and it was very depressing because suddenly there was sort of mass xenophobia everywhere, and people thought that they could just get up and start abusing people of colour in public places. And so we had a bit of a civil sort of breakdown, and societal breakdown for a few weeks after Brexit was announced. And, you know, and I remember my dad, actually, before my dad died in 1999, he had an accident. And before my dad died, one of the things that really upset him, and it was the only time he ever said to me, you should get a bank account in India. Make sure you have some money in India. And that was because of what was going on in the former Yugoslavia. And ethnic cleansing was happening right on Europe's doorstep. And for my dad, that was really shocking. And although this wasn't the same thing, but it did remind me of that, was I just thought, oh, things are sort of falling apart here, and I have to do something about it. I can't sit back. And that's when I said to Sarfraz, we're going to make this film. And I did a pass on the script with all my fears and anxieties about the potential of hate and the politics of Brexit. And that's why I think the film, you know, feels very relevant to today. Although we could never have imagined in the last year or so how relevant it would be to what's going on in certain countries. But there was a genuine attempt to say this is what happened in the 80s to us when we were growing up, and we're not going back there, and we don't want our world to be like that for our children. So we are going to make this film and show you an alternative way that we believe in. And luckily for us, Bruce's lyrics totally are part of that vision, whereas he says in the film, you know, no one wins unless we all win. So see this film really as an antidote, I think, to what else is going on in the world right now.